Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir. I'm a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage and fellow of Real Estate Institute of Canada. I'm your host. Tonight we talk about the impact of election 2021 and its real estate related promises being made by political parties and how it's going to impact the outcome of this election. As you know, the affordability has become an issue, and all analysts has predicted that the biggest problem we have is supply. Because of COVID, production of material for construction has cut down. We also have shortage of labor available, and also the cost of construction has gone up 30 to 35%, keeping in mind material, labor, and other costs. Productivity is low because of COVID and precautions construction companies are taking, as well as production where this raw material is manufactured. So that is having a bearing of cost effect on transportation and other areas where cost of producing or building new house or infrastructure is getting expensive, and this is why we are facing this new challenge and reality. The COVID has financially impacted all of us. Cost of transportation has increased, production capacity has been reduced, and by the time it reaches the maximum capacity, it will be a couple of years from today, unless we are hit with another season of COVID and things will go back again. So we are looking at a couple of parties, Liberal Party of Canada, PC Party, the Green Party, and NDP are making promises regarding their commitment to settle or handle this affordability issue and stress test challenges that we are facing in buying real estate. As you know, the prices of houses have consistently increased. In July prices that I shared with you in last episode, we still have a rise of our average price from last July to this July. Our sale has gone down, and I'm going to share with you Canadian Real Estate Association Canada-wide. There was a highlight monthly, and this is a wholesale record over Canadian MLS system. That means everybody across Canada, there's the edge back a further 3.5% month-over-month basis in July 2021, making the smallest of 4 consecutive decline. Since March, our sale transaction has declined consistently, but in July, it was only 3.5% in terms of the sale. So this is, we have already shared the information with you. So we're going to talk about what parties are predicting or projecting or offering and enticing the voters to come and vote. Real estate is a very important topic for every consumer. It's a dream come true to own a house. So everyone wants to make sure that we are able to afford a house. And escalation of prices, speculations, and mortgage stress rules, and also the biggest again is shortage of supply. How we can handle this complex issue? Lots of cities are facing infrastructure deficit. In Mississauga, 7-8 years ago, it was 90 million deficit. Now it's 3.5 billion deficit. So there are multiple choices, multiple options, and multiple challenges each city is facing, because everybody's revenue has been impacted, and they are trying to find solution. And all of a sudden, our federal government decided to have an election and spend over $650 million to vote for to give majority, hoping that Liberal Party wanted to win a majority. so they can govern better. And let's see what happens. So let's look at the platform. And I plan to invite Liberal, PC, NDP, and Green Party leaders to come on our next show and explain to us their plan, how they're going to work. So I'm going to share with you, Mr. Justin Trudeau has recently give an incentive and promised to worth billions of dollars, and also tax on flipping to help Canadians buy a home. Is this a good strategy? Let's talk about that. So let's look at what Liberal Party is thinking about it. How can we solve this problem? So there is a double tax credit. Liberal Party is proposing that up to age 40, you can have up to $40,000 worth of a purchase for the first-time home buyer withdrawal at tax-free, from which comes time to buy a property. That means they're increasing that saving amount up to $40,000 that you can draw money, and without tax you can go up to $40,000. Now, this is a tax-free. You can withdraw it without paying any taxes owing to possible investment gains. So there is a potential for maybe investment gains, but you can use it. The other thing they are saying is government is planning to double first-time home buy tax credit from $5,000 to $10,000. They're going to increase that. Instead, that would help with the many closing costs. So they're saying we're going to increase that from $5,000 to $10,000. Now, they are also thinking of reducing the mortgage cost by asking, if they are re-elected, the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation to slash the mortgage insurance rate by 25%, and average a new home buyer will get $6,100 less fee they have to pay. Right now there's a significant fee you have to pay because you fall into a high risk category. If you are paying less than 20%, you have to pay a fee. The bank or the lender will not take the risk. The risk is taken by Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation, which is a federal institute that give you, and they take money from you advance at the time of guaranteeing this. The bank is guaranteed that if a citizen defaults under the program, the government of Canada will give them the money. So banks feel more comfortable. So now they're going to cut down that by 25%. So it's saving of $6,100. Also, to supply side of the equation, they're saying that Justin Trudeau has promised to build, reserve, or repair 1 per 4 million houses in next 4 years. Remember that in 2017, I believe they allocated $10 billion, approximately $1 billion every year. So now in this new plan, they will be talking about different scenario. Maybe the change is coming to it. So it says that preserve or repair 1.4 million homes in next 4 years, and each city will get some kind of tools for help to expedite construction of housing in that city. Again, root cause is supply. What is the administrative control that is there is preventing the construction companies to increase their production. And obviously, COVID has played a different role. We're going to take a small break and we'll come back to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment.
पूरे ऑन्टेरियो में लाखों लोग अपनी कोविड-19 की वैक्सीन हासिल कर चुके हैं। हेल्थ कनाडा की मंजूरशुदा तमाम वैक्सीन्स महफूज और अस्पतालों, डॉक्टर्स के दफातर, फार्मेसीज और अवामी वैक्सीनेशन के मुकामात पर हासिल हैं। अपना किरदार अदा करें, अपनी वैक्सीन हासिल करें। 300 जुबानों में मदद के लिए ontario.ca/book vaccine पर जाएं या 1-888-999-6488 पर कॉल करें।
पाकिस्तान का सबसे मशहूर एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग ग्रेन मुगल बासमती राइस अवेलेबल इन बोथ व्हाइट एंड सेला। होम डिलीवरी इज अवेलेबल सब्जेक्ट टू मिनिमम ऑर्डर एंड रेडियस, ऑल्सो अवेलेबल एट योर नेबरहुड फ्रेश कोड। मजीद मालूमात के लिए आज ही कॉन्टैक्ट करें 5146630480 पर या ऑर्डर करें हमारे फेसबुक से। बनाए ये रमजान और भी खास मुगल बासमती के साथ, द प्रीमियम चॉइस फॉर प्रीमियम टेस्ट। 2020 का लाजवाब ऑफर, जहां हम 0% फाइनेंसिंग पर आपकी मनपसंद कार दे रहे हैं, फ्री विंटर टायर्स और साथ ही हम मुफ्त ऑयल चेंज भी दे रहे हैं, वो भी उम्र भर के लिए। अभी आएं और इस लाजवाब ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। जल्दी करें, आपका खुशामदीद हमारे आउटलेट में, जो कि 60 क्विंट्स प्लेट ड्राइव एट इंटरसेक्शन क्लोज टू हाईवे 27 एंड रेक्सडेल अपोजिट टू वुडबाइन रेस ट्रैक। जल्द से जल्द इस ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। आज ही कॉल करें सुनील अग्रवाल को 647-703-0218। देखिए खेल की आवाज हर पीर शाम 7 बजे। आज की बात समीना जबीन के साथ हर मंगल रात 8 बजे। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम हर मंगल और जुमा शाम 6 बजे। कनेडियन मोज़ेक हर बुध रात 8 बजे। रियलिटी कॉफी टॉक हर जुमेरात शाम 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक हर जुमा शाम 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार, कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ हर रोज रात 9 बजे और रिपीट सुबह 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host. We're talking about election 2021 and its impact on real estate. All parties are offering different propositions. Do they have the jurisdiction to make changes? Majority of these rules are applicable to the province. And how will federal will implement those programs and promise they're making? So as I was talking about the Liberal Party of Canada, Mr. Justin Trudeau has mentioned about it. So they are against is blind prohibition of blind bidding war. They are very concerned about behavior of real estate professional in this area, and also they will enforce penalties through criminal code. These are if they come back as a new elected government. So they are talking about pushing some changes to the mortgage rules. They may relax a little bit stress test, and also the issue is there are 135,000 approximately realtors, member of Canadian Real Estate Association, and the association is saying the biggest problem that we have is a short of supply. When you increase the supply, you don't have those problems, and industry run itself very well, is already regulated enough, and you don't need to impose more regulation. Now, similarly, now there was another issue here that they will be putting together a new bill. It's called Federal Homebuyers Bill of Rights, which will create, it stops the bidding war, it make essential the home inspection and price total transparency. So if this bill federally is approved, then it will become province to implement and make changes to through the regulator to implement that. The concern is that a buyer or seller who is represented by one agent, for example, it wants more and more transparency. So there are also rules that where the banker and the lender will make a recommendation to defer the payment, mortgage payment for another 6 months. So there are many things involved in this, and see whether the federal government will have the power to implement certain things because they fall into Ontario jurisdiction. We will have a lawyer to come back and talk with us hopefully next episode, and we talk about it, why it is being done this way. The other thing they are thinking about is anti-flipping tax. When you keep flipping the property and you are not the real owner who's going to occupy the property, they will be taxed. And also they're thinking about also the vacant tax. When you keep the property vacant, and with all this effort, it enforces the owners to make sure they are not keeping the house vacant when people have a desperate need. As you know, that in our last episode we mentioned about that rental has now become a big challenge because there are multiple offers being even for renting a unit or a condo in GTA. So therefore, it is impacting this. There is also a rumor that the government, future government, is planning to stop foreign buyers to buy property for next 2 years. That's also in the news. We have to know how it's going to impact this. So we're going to talk about this Conservative Party. It's an election platform. They want to build 1 million homes over 3 years, and the concession of at least 15% of federal government property into housing, and the creation of indigenous housing strategy. First of all, we have to find out whether any of these parties has a very specific strategy to handle this. We can't afford cosmetic correction or improvement. We need to have a long-term strategy in terms of affordability, make sure economic growth is happening, infrastructure funding is available, and also you cannot keep borrowing money to implement program. You need to create program that generate the revenue, so pay back the loan when you borrowed, and because if you keep borrowing money, we are over $1 trillion in federal deficit, so our generation will be paying money. They owe money already. So this is why we need to elect responsible candidates who are representing us, our voice in the House of Parliament. And home ownership is a pride moment. It is essential. Everybody needs a shelter. They need to enjoy their pride of ownership. So we need to make sure it's affordable. So this is the goal, and now we have to know and talk to these people to see how fairly and reasonably they are projecting, or they are just giving speeches in a political platform to attract voters. Now, the government, a conservative government, if elected, will stop anyone buying the property for 2 years if they are not living in it. That's the platform. How is it going to impact? Foreign people bring lots of money, they invest in Canada, it generates tax for the government, and nobody's talking about how to generate the revenue. Real estate is the very powerful economic engine for Canadians. 33, 35, or 40% of revenue generated through real estate transactions, and thousands and thousands of employment across Canada. So it is so important. You don't want a government to impact in any way to derail the progress and prosperity it brings to the families. They are also encouraging PC party is encouraging about 7 to 10 years of mortgage, so it makes it easy and also reduce the stress test. These are the things. NDP is saying that our platform center proposed to build 500,000 affordable housing over the next 10 years. So that means 50,000 houses every year. Who's going to pay for it? Is it a government or is it private investment? What is behind that? This is why it's very, very important to read what they say and ask the question, who is building 500,000 in 10 years? Who is paying for it? Is it our money? Is it affordable housing? Is it subsidized housing? How is going to help our economy? This is why it's very important. The party also proposed 20% foreign buyer tax, sale of homes. So right now in Ontario, in a certain area, we have a 15% buyer tax and there is a rebate program. Are you discouraging foreign investment? And you are increasing it 50 to 20%, make it more difficult. Or is this the right approach to do it? And only thing that I see is that we have to ask our candidates, tell us, explain to us how is going to benefit our real estate industry and affordability issues. Do we need to have a more fast track railway system where people are moving away from the big city and establish new cities, small towns where they can easily get on a fast train and come to Toronto or GTA to do their job and go back? So it's affordability not an issue. The prices of outside GTA has doubled in recent months because nobody can afford a reasonable detached home or semi. With the price range, they can buy a condominium in Toronto or GTA area, and they are going out of the area to buy it. So as long as we have a transportation infrastructure, fast train, they can do that. Why not? And this is why it's very important when they say, I want to do this, they need to explain to us how it's going to impact this. Now they are saying is that the NDP is also saying we're going to create a 30 years mortgage insurance policy through Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation. Right now, I think is 25% and 25 years, and they want to go 30 years. Green Party is saying not release the 2020 election platform yet, but party recently advocated the federal government to redefine affordable housing. So there is no clear-cut guidelines. So why is housing is rising home prices? Because shortage of supply. This is the biggest challenge that we have. I have shared with you all my report. You can go to realtycoffeetalk.com and you can watch the previous episode, or go to YouTube or Awaz Entertainment 580. You can watch our program and see how we have provided the details. This is why it's very, very important. Now governments are creating incentive for seniors. We deserve it. We are seniors. Again, issue is affordability. How can we afford it? What is the plan? So I'm very hopeful in our next episode, next Thursday, I'm going to invite our candidate for Liberal Party, PC Party, to come and explain to us their policy, how it's going to create. I am the opinion that in order to expedite, we need to increase the efficiency of approval process at the city level. So city level, you submit your application, they expedite it, and they get the approval, and they can go into getting a building permit, pay their development charges, and start constructing it. They have a freedom. They can start any time, and length time to get approval. Sometimes it takes 6 months to 18 months. Expedite that to make sure and that houses approvals are expedited throughout Canada. That is only way is going to solve the problem. There are also issues. There are some link. Speculators are buying land, and they're going to federal government to make new rules if they're re-elected to allow those industrial government lands which are not usable for affordable housing, and also cut down on speculators to make sure that they don't keep the land or empty houses. This is one of the challenges that we have, that we're facing. So this is why it's very important to look at those all scenarios that can help. The mortgage issue, stress test. Right now, stress test is holding a little bit people, but it's pushing the people toward B lenders because they do not meet the stress test of OFSI. And that's why there is a challenge there. It's costing more money to the buyers to buy the property, especially who spent more than 20%, because they don't need to go to, in order to qualify for under OFSI rules, it's tough. So issue is affordability, and people who already own the property, they have built up the equity, they can cash that equity and they can pay toward the new house. Again, there are many, many factors involved. And also when you are pushing a family away from the big city they have accustomed to, they live here, they enjoy the facility, it becomes more challenging for them to move away from the big city to a smaller town. And then it's disconnect the school for children, many other issues and other issues come into the picture, and you have to handle them. Transportation costs will increase because you have to travel a little bit, and lots of clients that we have seen, they are moved away from the big city. They're happy because they got a bigger house, bigger land, and they can have a backyard to play with kids. So there are multiple issues. So we're going to be inviting our candidates to come to next Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment, tell us their housing policy, how is going to benefit real estate industry, because there are 135,000 realtors across Canada who will be voting, and we have a lot of influence on our client because we have good relation with them, and if they ask our opinion, whose policy will benefit. Our analysis is the biggest challenge that we have is a short of supply, and when we are able to resolve the issue, it will benefit. I was doing a review of this of the poll, because Liberal Party has asked in the middle of their term, there's still 2 years left, and it doesn't appear to be they're heading to the majority. I was watching a poll tracker from Eric Greigner on CBC. The Liberals are at 33.2% minus 0.2 from what they have, and Conservative 31.6%, and they are plus 0.4, and New Democratic are 20% plus 0.1, and Green Party Bloc Québécois is 6.1% minus 0.1, and other Green Party 4.1%, Green Party 0.1, and others are 5%. This is a poll conducted by Eric Greigner's, a poll on 26 August. Credits to CBC. So we're going to take a short break. You're watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. If you wish to advertise on Awaz Entertainment, you please call 647-484-0018 and tell them that you are a viewer of Realty Coffee Talk, so you get a very special rate to advertise on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. We're going to take a short break.
पूरे ओंटारियो में लाखों लोगों ने अपना कोविड-19 टीका लगवाया है। स्वास्थ्य कनाडा द्वारा अनुमोदित सभी टीके सुरक्षित हैं और अस्पतालों, डॉक्टरों के कार्यालयों, फार्मेसियों और सामूहिक टीकाकरण स्थलों में उपलब्ध हैं। अपनी भूमिका निभाएं, अपना टीका लगवाएं। वेबसाइट ontario.ca/bookvaccine पर जाएं या 300 भाषाओं में सहायता के लिए 1-888-999-6488 पर कॉल करें।
पाकिस्तान का सबसे मशहूर एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग ग्रेन मुगल बासमती राइस अवेलेबल इन बोथ व्हाइट एंड सिल्वर. होम डिलीवरी इज अवेलेबल सब्जेक्ट टू मिनिमम ऑर्डर एंड रेडियस. ऑल्सो अवेलेबल एट योर नेबरहुड फ्रेश कोड. मजीद मालूमात के लिए आज ही कॉन्टैक्ट करें 5146630480 पर या ऑर्डर करें हमारे फेसबुक से। बनाए ये रमजान और भी खास मुगल बासमती के साथ, द प्रीमियम चॉइस फॉर प्रीमियम टेस्ट। 2020 का लाजवाब ऑफर, जहां हम 0% फाइनेंसिंग पर आपकी मनपसंद कार दे रहे हैं, फ्री विंटर टायर्स, और साथ ही हम मुफ्त ऑयल चेंज भी दे रहे हैं, वो भी उम्र भर के लिए। अभी आएं और इस लाजवाब ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। जल्दी करें, आपका खुशामदीद हमारे आउटलेट में, जो कि 60 क्विंट्स प्लेट ड्राइव एट इंटरसेक्शन क्लोज टू हाईवे 27 एंड रेक्सडेल अपोजिट टू वुडबाइन रेस ट्रैक। जल्द से जल्द इस ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। आज ही कॉल करें सुनील अग्रवाल को 647-703-0218। देखिए खेल की आवाज हर पीर शाम 7 बजे। आज की बात समीना जबीन के साथ हर मंगल रात 8 बजे। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम हर मंगल और जुमा शाम 6 बजे। कनेडियन मोज़ेक हर बुध रात 8 बजे। रियलिटी कॉफी टॉक हर जुमेरात शाम 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक हर जुमा शाम 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार, कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ हर रोज रात 9 बजे और रिपीट सुबह 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir. I'm your host. We were talking about different platforms from political party, and we're hoping that we have their candidates come and join us next episode on Thursday at 7 p.m. and explain to us their plan, how they're going to help. I'm going to repeat few things from Canadian Real Estate Association. This is a credit from, the data is from Real Estate Association, Canadian Real Estate Association. So our national home sale declined 3.5% on month-over-month basis in July. So I mentioned that before. And actual not season adjusted activity declined by 15.2% year over year. So from last year to this year, 15.2% decline. The number of listed property dropped 8.8% from June to July. So sale drop, listing dropped from 8.5% from June to July. MLS Home Price Index, HPI, rose 0.6% month over month and was up 22.2% year over year. Actual not season adjusted national average sale price posted a 15.6% increase year over year again in July. So you can, this is a Canadian Real Estate Association. If you have to learn more about it, go to crea.ca and you can check the charts and other detailed information. Now, as usual, I will always tell you that Ontario real estate business is regulated in the province of Ontario. Real Estate Council of Ontario is a regulator on behalf of the government of Ontario. They protect consumer. They regulate the registration, education, registration, compliance, and consumer protection protection plan in the province of Ontario. So every realtor that you see, a registrant, is working in real estate industry in the province of Ontario is registered by Real Estate Council of Ontario. Their website is reco.on.ca. As I mentioned, I am a broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. Broker of record is a complying officer to make sure all employees are in compliance to RICO and REBA. So one person who was a broker of record, a brokerage was fined by the Ontario government because they immediately suspended it because a company was operating without a broker of record, and also the broker record was suspended and remains suspended because he failed to pay for annual professional liability insurance premium. See, when you are getting a notice from real estate counsel to pay for premium insurance and you don't pay it, you can be suspended. Once you are suspended, if you are a broker of record, you have to designate someone else broker which meet the requirement of RICO under REBA to make sure that you don't operate without a licensed broker of record with insurance. So this is one of the case. Now I'm going to talk about another one. Someone, a salesperson, is give false information on his application. And once he registered, it was discovered, he was fined $2,000 because he did a false information in real estate. You cannot trade because he mentioned to some other registrant that when you are making a false statement to someone, you can be penalized. You cannot furnish false information. And he was also fined $5,000. So real estate counsel, don't go easy. If you misrepresent and falsify information and you practice in real estate and somebody complained, when they discover that, they will penalize you. One person was penalized $3,000 because he or she was not registered. Maybe a person was assisting a sales agent who was using someone to perform the function without registration. He was fined $3,000. Here's an interesting thing. When you sign an agreement of purchase and sale, you have the obligation as a registrant to deliver a copy to the brokerage, your employer, because broker of record, who's a complying officer, is responsible to make sure the agreement of purchase is received. And he failed to deliver the agreement of purchase and sale to the brokerage who was employed, and he was fined $2,000 for the negligence. You remember in the agreement of purchase and sale says that it's pre-printed on the Form 100 that when agreement is signed, the buyer has to deliver the deposit within 24 hours unless you amended it and revised it in Schedule A. So if somebody bring in a deposit, you don't have a copy of the agreement of purchase and sale, how is it going to look back on you? So that broker record complained, and he was fined $2,000. Again, there's a one agent. He was fined for issuing false information, $5,000. The compliance protocol is that once an application is made by a consumer or the broker of record submit a complaint against an agent, then they will review it, they go audit it, they do inspection, interview everything, and then they make the decision. And there is appeal process. You get a chance. But in this case, the person pled guilty, that I am guilty of this, so he paid $5,000 fine. So these are the things important for you. Viewers, you are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. Our goal is to increase awareness, to educate you about and building your confidence buying and selling real estate, and also to promote good ethic and professional practices in real estate industry. So if you ever have any question regarding real estate buying and selling, please feel free to call me. My cell number is 416-451-3489, or you can call my office 905-785-9923. I'll be more than happy to help you and guide you to make sure you make the right decision. Awaz Entertainment is watched around the world. in Canada, around the world. If you are a mortgage agent, you are a real estate agent, you are a mortgage broker, you are real estate brokerage, you are a lawyer, you are a plumber, electrician, painter, home renovator, builder, developer, lawyers, any field, home inspector, appraiser, you have to join Awaz Entertainment so your message is spread. We have millions of viewers watching Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. So you will reach out to them very economically, because Awaz Entertainment is offering you a very, very special discounted price to advertise in our Awaz channel throughout in Canada, around the world. So please call 647-484-0018 and get your best deal. Tell them that you are viewer of Awaz Entertainment and you are viewer of Realty Coffee Talk. You can contact Samina Jabeen at 416-786-9809. I take this opportunity on behalf of Realty Coffee Talk and Awaz Entertainment. So thank our health staff, the doctor, nurses, medical staff, armed forces, securities staff, Peel Police, RCMPs, CSS, for their dedication and commitment to protect all fellow Canadians in Canada, around the world. We wish you all the best. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Thank you very much. I will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. on Awaz Entertainment. Thank you.